In the swirling haze of cigarette smoke and sitar drones that defined London's late 1960s rock aristocracy, where the Beatles' afterglow mingled with the Yardbirds' bluesy grit, an unbreakable bond formed between two guitar gods, George Harrison, the quiet Beatle with a penchant for Eastern mysticism and understated riffs, and Eric Clapton, the slow-hand prodigy whose fingers bled fire across Fender Stratocasters, birthing Cream's psychedelic thunder. Their friendship ignited in 1968 at a casual jam session in Harrison's Friar Park estate, a sprawling Gothic pile in Henley-on-Thames that George had snapped up for $140,000. Its overgrown gardens whispering promises of escape from Beatlemania's maw. Clapton, fresh off Cream's disbandment and nursing a heroin haze, found solace in George's unpretentious vibe. No screaming crowds, just two lads trading licks on Badge, a track George co-wrote for Cream's farewell album, crediting himself pseudonymously as L'Angelo Misterioso to dodge Fab Four contractual chains. They bonded over shared disdain for the music biz's meat grinder, George's wry humor cutting through Clapton's brooding intensity. And soon Eric was a fixture at Friar Park, strumming alongside George's experimental forays into Indian ragas, their guitars dueling like friendly sabers in the candlelit drawing room. Pattie Boyd, George's ethereal wife since their 1966 shotgun wedding in Epsom, where she, a 22-year-old model plucked from the set of A Hard Day's Night for a cameo as a schoolgirl, traded vows under a floral arch amid whispers of her being the muse for George's something. The Abbey Road ballad that Frank Sinatra hailed as the greatest love song of the past 50 years, watched their camaraderie bloom with quiet approval, her doe eyes and tousled mane capturing the era's swinging ideal, even as she navigated the isolation of being hitched to a man whose spiritual quests often left her adrift in a sea of incense and gurus. Little did she know beneath the harmonious facade, Clapton's gaze lingered too long on her laughter, his artist's soul stirring with a forbidden ache that would soon unravel the trio like a poorly tuned string. By 1969, as the Beatles teetered on implosion, John and Yoko's bed-ins clashing with Paul's ultimatums, Ringo briefly quitting in a fit of drumless despair, George sought refuge in Clapton's orbit, the two collaborating on All Things Must Pass, George's triple-disc opus that would eclipse Lennon's Imagine in sales and cement his solo stature. Eric contributed licks to Mother You Could Keep, his Les Paul weaving through George's slide guitar like a confessional whisper, but privately, he was unraveling. Heroin's grip tightened, pulling him into London's underbelly clubs where dealers lurked like shadows, and Pattie's image haunted his highs, her grace a stark contrast to the chaos of groupies clawing at his post-Cream fame. In a desperate bid to quell the obsession, Clapton dated Pattie's sister Paula in early 1970, a platonic proxy that fooled no one, least of all himself, as he confessed in letters later unearthed from Pattie's archives. My life is one long concert, interrupted by moments of sheer terror, but you, Pattie, are the melody I can't shake. The powder keg primed when Derek and the Dominoes, Clapton's supergroup fever dream with Duane Allman on Duel Slide Assault, unleashed Layla and other assorted love songs in November 1970, a double-album dirge of unrequited torment. Its title track a 7-minute wail of Duane's bottleneck slide piercing Eric's strat like a dagger to the heart. Lyrics cribbed from a 12th century Persian tale of star-crossed lovers. You've got me on my knees, Layla, begging darling please. A blatant serenade to Pattie that George, buried in post-Beatles divorce wars and transcendental meditations in India, somehow missed amid the haze. Pattie heard it blasting from George's 8-track in their Bentley, the plea hitting like a sitar string snapping. She confronted Eric at a Soho party that winter, his eyes bloodshot from another binge, and he poured out his soul. I can't stop thinking of you, it's killing me. Flattered yet loyal, she rebuffed him, but the seed burrowed deep. Her marriage to George Frang under his infidelities, affairs with Ronnie Wood's wife Chrissy, then Ringo's Maureen Starkey in a 1974 wife swap tangle that left drummers and models in emotional wreckage, and his Krishna-kissed detachment, spending weeks at the Himalayas ashram, while Pattie rattled alone in Friar Park's echoing halls, her modeling gigs in Paris a fleeting escape from the spiritual void. Clapton's pursuit escalated into obsession, a cocktail of heroin and heartache. By 1971, he sent Pattie a torrent of letters, one scrawled on Layla album stationery reading, I am trying to write a song that will make you understand, but words fail me as does my life without you. His script jagged from withdrawal shakes another pleading. Am I a poor lover? Am I ugly? Dispatches that Pattie tucked away like guilty secrets, torn between pity and the thrill of being desired amid George's growing distance. The boiling point simmered through 1972 to 73. As George headlined the concert for Bangladesh in August 71, the first mega-benefit rock extravaganza at Madison Square Garden, netting $243,418 for Ravi Shankar's cyclone-ravaged homeland. With Eric guesting on While My Guitar Gently Weeps, their twin acts is a fraternal flourish that masked the undercurrent. Yet privately, tensions crackled. George, sensing Eric's fixation during a Friar Park dinner where wine flowed like Ganges waters, quipped, "Slow hands got fast hands for my wife," a half-jest that hung like smoke. The night that shattered their pact arrived in the autumn of 1973, a rain-lashed evening in Friar Park's wood-paneled music room, where John Hurt, thespian sage and dinner guest, bore witness to the absurd climax of rock's most poetic rivalry. A guitar duel, sparked when Clapton, emboldened by brandy and desperation, arrived unannounced with his weathered Strat in tow, slurring, "Let's see what you've got. George, play for her," nodding toward Patty perched on a velvet settee, her silk caftan a nod to George's Indian phase, eyes wide with the thrill of impending chaos. George, ever the gentleman host, poured Eric a snifter of Courvoisier while sipping Tetley tea, a deliberate asymmetry of indulgences, and fetched his rosewood Travis from its stand, its superior tone a silent boast, the room thick with peat fire crackle and unspoken stakes. What began as a casual jam on While My Guitar devolved into a sonic sword fight, Clapton's Strat howling blues bends laced with heroin-fueled fury, bends that screamed Layla's lament, while George's Travis sang back with crystalline slide precision, invoking ragas and restraint, each note a parry in this boyish battle of egos. Patty the unwitting prize, as Hurt later chronicled in his memoir. It was theater. Two princes clashing for the princess, but neither would yield, their strings weeping what words couldn't. No victor emerged that night, the duel dissolving into exhausted laughter and a hasty retreat by Eric to his Ewhurst manor. But the rift had cracked open, an invisible fault line. George, in his post-duel haze, confided to Ringo over pints at a pub, "Eric's not just borrowing my licks anymore, he's eyeing my life." A betrayal that stung deeper than any infidelity of his own. For in the sacred code of mateship, poaching a friend's muse was the unpardonable sin. The fracture widened through 1974 as Patty, starved for affection amid George's dalliances, his fling with Maureen the final straw, a tabloid-torched bridge, turned to Eric for solace during his American tour invites, where she watched from wings as Layla encore after encore begged her surrender. By separation's eve, George and Patty parted in a tear-streaked Friar Park garden, he gifting her the Devon Devasthanam necklace from India, whispering, "Go find your light," his spirituality framing the loss as karmic flux even as it gnawed at his core. Divorce finalized June 9, 1977, amid 33 and 1-3's funky rebirth for George. A cocaine-fueled pivot from Bajans, Patty wed Eric on March 27, 1979 in a ceremony at his Surrey estate. George not just attending but gifting a framed photo of the three, quipping, "Be good to her. Slow hand, she's the best riff we ever shared," a magnanimous nod that belied the scar. Yet the stop being friends myth endures as hyperbole. Their guitars reconciled in the studio, from George's 1975 Extra Texture cameos to the 1987 Cloud9 revival, and on stage at the 1991 Prince's Trust Rock concert, trading solos on crossroads like old warhorses. But that 1973 duel night marked the end of innocence. The real reason, a cocktail of obsession, neglect, and rock star hubris were Clapton's voodoo dolls and pleading epistles. Rumors swirl he even consulted a Warwickshire mystic for love spells, clashed with George's passive zen, leaving a friendship forever shadowed. Patty later reflecting in her 2007 memoir Wonderful Tonight, "They were boymen, immature emotionally, chasing the same chord but playing different keys." Echoes lingered. Clapton's 1980s alcoholism spiraling their union into divorce by 1989, on grounds of infidelity and unreasonable behavior. Patty suspecting Eric's pursuit was less love than conquest. He just wanted what George had. While George, remarried to Olivia Arias in 1978, their son Donnie, a grounding force, found peace in gardening and garden gnomes at Friar Park, his 2001 passing from lung cancer drawing Clapton to the funeral, where he played While My Guitar Gently Weeps in tribute, tears mingling with strings, a requiem for the bond that outlasted the betrayal. In retrospect, that stormy night wasn't mere cessation but transformation. Their friendship evolved from fraternal jams to wary respect, a testament to rock's resilient riffs, where love triangles bend but rarely break the melody entirely, leaving us with Layla's eternal plea and Something's Sweet Ache. Reminders that even gods of the fretboard bleed human folly.